So I've been on Sorare now just short of 2 years. I haven't been playing fully for the 2 years. I have taken periods away from the game and I didn't totally trust it to begin with. So today we're going to talk about my gallery, my vision, where I've come from, where I'm going, why I play in the limited cards and not the rares, and also the mistakes that I've made and a few key points within the timeline of me joining Sorare. We're not going to go too deep. A lot of this stuff is public. It's on the blockchain. It's on Sorare data. You can see where I was at X time and where I am now, but I want to cover a few key points for you just to give you some context to who I am, so when the content comes out in the future you know a little bit about my journey. It is both fantastic in areas and painful in others, so buckle in and we're going to go and cover a little bit of that. Before we do jump in, just want to say, if you leave a thumbs up, any comment down below, let me know about how your journey on Sorare has gone. Are you starting it? Are you in it? Are you interested in starting it? And obviously if you're new to the video and you do enjoy the channel and the content, hit the subscribe button, completely free, and if at any point I annoy you, you can unsubscribe. Hopefully that won't happen though, but let's jump into my gallery. So as mentioned, I joined on the 3rd of the 6th, 2020 to be specific, and my club is called Wonder Kids CF, Club Football. It is predominantly based around under 23s, and that's the way it's always going to be, and the way it always kind of has been. When I originally joined, it was no such thing as limited cards. They were all rares. So I still own a handful of rares, mostly players who are young, that aren't playing in the first team right now, who I hope at some point will play in the first team and I can sell on for profit. Now, with the introduction of the Specialist League, which we talked about in a different video, and you know, maybe potential in the future, they will introduce a Pro League, which will be where you can use maybe of the 5 players, you can maybe use 3 limiteds and 2 rares. I hope that one day that will happen. So maybe I will go back to using rares at one point, but for now, no. Rares aren't part of my interest for now. What is there? 42 of them, and when they play, then they'll sell them for profit. The 2 that are probably most likely to be are Verbruggen, who currently I bought for £49, currently selling for about 600, and then Sivlar, the young lad from Benfica, who just moved to Roma, pay £17 for. If he ends up playing at some point, he'll probably worth over £1,000. So that money will be reinvested into limited. So when it comes to rares, it's quite simple. The ones that I have are either from rewards, from referral rewards, or players that I've just been holding for over a year. I brought Marlos 4 months ago because he moved to Brazil and his card was cheap, so I just brought it there and then just to hold on to him. So I have 197 limited cards, and the thing that drags me in most is I can use players that are just unattainable for me financially at rare level. I'm not even going to talk about super rare or unique because they're just cards I'm never going to own, though I did own a unique recently, and we'll cover that when it comes to the timeline bits in a couple of minutes. I have invested quite a bit within the last month in preparation for the new season coming up. There was a dip, obviously, with the European season coming to an end and big international break. People were panicking, selling players a lot cheaper. So I took advantage of that and brought in a lot of limited cards, which I think are going to put me in a better position going forward for next season. Obviously, I'll still add some for next season as well, but my limited gallery is pretty damn good. Now, of the limited gallery, the 197 players, under 23s are 134 of them. So there's a big swing towards that under 23s. I don't necessarily buy players on this game to then instantly sell or to instantly use. I buy them for profit in the future. So my vision with Sorare is always down the line. It has a big swing towards players that I've played with on Football Manager as well. So I tend to look for the Wonder Kids, so to speak. Hence the name, the Wonder Kids, I suppose. But that's my vision for Sorare. I really believe in the platform. I believe it's going in the right direction. Does it have flaws? Does it need to be better in certain situations? 100%. But that's something that's not particularly unusual. Companies that grow as quickly as Sorare have will face different problems along the way. Ultimately, I think they're doing a good job, and I believe in the platform for the future. Unfortunately, under my manager stats on Sorare data, I can't give you the full context for where I was with my cards history and cards that I've owned, because it seems to be a little bit broken at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. So I can't give you the history or the context to that. But there have been 2 points in my timeline where I have cashed out. One of them was about a year and a bit after my initial investment. I put in £4,000, money I didn't have at the time, and I haven't disclaimed yet, but the disclaimer would always be play within your means. Don't be stupid. I was an absolute idiot. I cashed in £4,000 when Ethereum was at £800 per coin. Ethereum now is like 2.5k per coin, if I'm talking in sterling, in pound coins. So it's a lot different now. So when I cashed out, yes, I sold some players from huge profits because they were young when I brought them and weren't playing, and then they become first team players when I sold them. But ultimately, that wasn't the main reason why I walked away with the end product that I walked away with from the £4,000 investment. That was mainly because Ethereum grew in its price as well. So I'm not going to sit here and blow my own trumpet and say it was smart moves by me. I got lucky in that instance. But where we're at currently right now, 2 years down the line nearly, I've won 51 cards in rewards. My main player that's won my rewards is Steven Berghuis. Doesn't play for me anymore. I sold him on. I'm not sure where he's at now, his card, but it will be interesting to look at it one day. But not today. 18 rewards have come from him. And yeah, he's been my most profitable player so far. My roster value currently is 14 grand, which is 6 Ethereum. Again, don't take that at face value. That can be up and down based on previous sales and stuff like that. It's basically skewed. It's somewhere in the right area, but not correct completely. Obviously, I've won 14% of my winnings. 14% of my lineups have been winning lineups for reward cards. Now, when I originally started playing the game, I didn't totally trust the platform. I was introduced by Brian, who works for Sorare, top guy. I owe him an awful amount of thanks for what he has done for me in the long run, because ultimately I've cleared my debts with what I've earned back from the game. But at the time when I originally invested at that point in 2020, I didn't totally know where I was going with it, and my investment wasn't straight away. I actually didn't play properly for the first 6-7 months. I just had a little bit in it and looked at it every now and again. Didn't really enter any lineups and stuff like that, and didn't particularly play it properly because I just thought it'd be one of those things that come and goes. I didn't really believe in it. But as the time went on and I went back to it more and more and more, I started to get a bit more of enjoyment. I'm that guy that likes fantasy football, but after a week or 3, I'll give up because I'll forget to do it, and then your whole season's ruined and you can't do any better on fantasy football because you miss a week, you're in trouble. With this though, you can miss a week and it not really matter. So that was a good thing. So that what dragged me back in. So after a little bit of procrastination and a period where I didn't really play, I then started to get really involved and started to invest that £4,000 that I really didn't have at the time. And I will always keep mentioning that because it's only fair that I'm truthful with you. After about a year and a bit though, I did cash out in the region of £12,000 to £14,000 from sales and obviously the rise of Ethereum, and that paid off the first chunk of the debts that I had, halving the debts pretty much that I'd had for over 10 years, which was great. The next period then would be the release of limited cards. Now, limited cards only came around, I don't know how long ago now. When did I buy my first limited card? Let me have a look. So I would have brought one pretty much the day they came out, and I probably still got that card. Yeah, this I think was the first or second one that I brought. So they came out 8 months ago. So about a month or 2 ago was the second time that I sold a bunch of cards. Now, I wish I could show you on my manager stats. Unfortunately, I can't because it doesn't seem to be showing. So earned on market here is 19, basically 20 Ethereum. So 20 Ethereum at 2.5k each. That's the kind of money that I've made from selling cards on the market. That seems like in the region of £50,000, but it's not, because at the time, some of this Ethereum, when I would have earned the Ethereum back, would have been valued differently in fiat. So it might have been that I earned a big portion of that Ethereum, not when it was worth 2.5k, if that makes sense. The money side and the Ethereum side and the cryptocurrency side, even I don't fully understand, which is why I tend to work in pound coins or pounds rather than Ethereum. But when limiteds came around, I invested on the day. I'd already cashed out and I left £2,000 in so that when I cashed out maybe 2 months before limiteds came out, and I was holding that £2,000 waiting to put it into limiteds. I had a few people telling me I was an idiot for doing so, that I'd downgraded from rares to limiteds, but I cashed in straight away on the limiteds and did quite well. I got several players on maybe the £100 to £200 range that I went to sell them for £300 to £700. So again, making a fairly substantial profit on bringing in players early to then sell them off a bit later. With that, then I then cashed out for the second time, which was an equal kind of amount to the first time, in between the £12,000-14,000. So in total, I think I've withdrew about £28,000 to £30,000, which has completely cleared any debt I ever had, which has now led me to where we are today and to why this channel has appeared. So 30 referrals I have had, and I got a reward for it, which was this unique card here, Lucas Toussaint. Now, I already had a couple of K in to my gallery, and I had a fairly decent gallery in some instances, but it lacked the edge. After getting this rare card, this unique card, sorry, and then selling it for £1,800, I reinvested all of that money and probably a few extra £100 on top of that, because obviously I'm now debt free, and brought now the gallery that I have. The gallery that I have now is in the best shape it's probably ever been. It's probably a better shape now than even when I had those rares, and I'm very excited for what the future will hold with this gallery and the direction that it's currently taking. So the reason why I switched from rare to limited, one was because I actually inadvertently ended up paying all my debts, and the rares just happened to pay them, and then I wasn't in a position to buy back the rares, but I was in a position to buy limiteds, and limiteds I can enjoy a bit more because they're players that I know. Sandro Tonali, for instance, Gongado Guedes, Kamada, just to throw a few at you that you're going to know. SMS, probably one of my favourite players in real life ever. So I was enjoying, and I enjoy playing with the limiteds a lot more, and now they've got more utility, as we talked about in a video yesterday or the day before, where they've added in the Specialist League and the Underdog League. These are cool things that are going to make limiteds just more and more useful when we're going forward with So Rare. So I'm really excited for what limiteds, the future of limiteds holds. So that is kind of like my little bit of a brief history on my So Rare journey. I get this not all in complete order, and it's probably a little bit jumpy. But my vision for the website, So Rare itself, and going forward, I'm very positive about. Again, I'm going to repeat myself one more time. I got lucky in some instances while making some smart moves in others. The smart moves were about the picking up of particular players, where the luck was through Ethereum just rising in its price. I don't see the jump from £800 to £2,500 happening again anytime soon, in terms of £2,500 to £4,000. Though I think over time Ethereum will continue to become more popular. But that's all we're going to cover today, though, guys. Just a little bit of context behind me, my gallery, my vision, where I'm going, why I play limiteds and not rares, why I'm holding some particular rares, what I've won along the way, that unique sale, which again catapulted my gallery to being even stronger, and a little bit of the sales that I've done. I could cover more, I guess. If you've got any questions particularly about the game, or you're interested in what So Rare is, this is kind of one of those evergreen videos where if someone's going to just type in what is So Rare, they may end up here. So hi, hope you're well. Any questions, hit me down in the comment section. Appreciate you checking this out, just seeing an idea for me going forward. Obviously, content you're going to see on the channel is going to be based around 23s. We're looking for those little wonder kids, those players maybe that might be getting missed that you can pick up. I'm going to try and make this kind of informative as possible, but also along the way, just a little bit of fun, more casual. Obviously, I've been a FM YouTuber for quite some time. This is a whole new adventure, and we're going to do it a bit differently. But guys, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you hit that like button. I'll see you in the next one.